my gosh, it's so perfect. Hello and welcome into a mostly empty apartment. Wow, it was a whirlwind moving out most of the stuff in here, and definitely a lot of work. I am very tired still from it, but the work is not over. We need to tear down all of the stuff you still see up around me. So with this teardown, I have 3 goals. The first is to remove all of the renter-friendly DIYs and give you my recommendations on if I really do think after these have been up on the walls that these are a project you guys should do. My second goal is to return this entire apartment back to its original state. And my third goal is to salvage as much material as possible to be used for future DIYs. So we have a whole lot of work ahead of us. This is gonna take probably over a couple days, I'll be honest here. And so yeah, let's just get to work. We're gonna start right here in the bedroom. So this bedroom wall has to be one of my favorite renter-friendly DIYs I did in here. It has held up very well. It looks just as good as the day that we put it in, which is awesome. The most part, it's held up with command strips, except for the shelf behind me and the 2 light sconces. So those are gonna have to be removed, and we're gonna have to spackle in those holes. That works. So now it is time to tackle the wall, and we're gonna have to obviously start with the shelf because that's holding down this piece right here. Though there is one piece that I know is gonna be really easy to remove, and it's this one over here. Because I just held that one up with some command strips, and I just got drywall dust on me because I apparently cleaned this up after installing the curtains. All right, well, one piece down. A few more to go. Easy, sweet. And all I have are some little tiny holes to fill in. That's really not gonna be that bad, seeing how I put those right into the studs, so that'll be so easy to fill. Okay, moment of truth, time to remove these panels. Let's see how easily they come down and how well we can rely on these command strips. Oh wait, let me just peel that away. All right, here we go. That's a good sound. I'm low-key afraid some of them didn't even stick to the wall to begin with, so we're gonna find out. Perfect, a clean and perfect removal. That's super good. I am so excited about that. This is way too easy. It almost feels too good to be true. Maybe I spoke too soon. This one is really stuck. Some good Velcro. Sweet, sweet. That all came down, perfect. There we go. Give me a place to. So that went seamlessly. I pretty much knew it was going to because I have done a much smaller scale version of this project before, but we are not in the clear yet because we do still have to remove all of the command strips, and that is a little bit of a tedious process to ensure that we get them off the wall and they don't leave behind any damage. So let's start with the first one. And you just want to go nice and slow. Easy. So good. So now we move on to the part that is every renter's best friend if you want to put anything up on the wall, and that is of course spackle. I got a little thing of spackle here and a putty knife. We're gonna fill in all of these holes so nobody will even know they were there. Okay, so the wall is down and the holes that I made have been spackled. So let me give you my full review of this project. So I do think that this project is totally renter friendly. All of the panels came down so easily and they looked so great on the wall. They held up very well, which are very good. They allow you to move the materials with you and use them again for other projects. And it only left behind 3 really tiny holes in the wall and are easy to just fill in with a little bit of some spackle at move out. Now, one thing that I definitely would not recommend, and I don't think I'm going to be doing again, is putting in the sconce lights. They left behind really big holes in the wall. They're going to take a couple different coats of the spackle, and then I'm probably also going to paint over them just to conceal it a little better. But I don't think I would be doing that project again unless I can come up with like a renter-friendly way of doing it, because I'm not totally against putting them up again. I just want them to be more easily removable than what this project was. Oh, and one note, I did get some paint on the wall right here, but I do think that we could just paint over that. It'll be fine, I think. Okay, so now let's move on to the bathroom area here. Obviously, the big change that we made was the wallpaper. I also put some contact paper on the cabinet doors. I framed out the mirror right here. I also swapped out some of the hardware and the light bulbs. Now overall, most of this has held up pretty well. This wallpaper looks great from what you can see right here, but almost within weeks of putting it up, it did start peeling away from the ceiling. None of the pieces fell down. I never did anything to tack them back up on the wall because I wanted to do a full test to see if the pieces would start falling completely. But I truly wanted to do that full quality test for you guys, and I still would recommend this wallpaper and this wallpaper brand. When I applied the wallpaper, I started over here, so for the removal, let's just start over here. So far, so good. I don't feel any residue, and this is peeling off so easy. That came down way better than I could have asked for. The walls are all in perfect condition. I don't feel any sticky residue left behind. They feel exactly the way they're supposed to. And that was so easy to do. There really wasn't any struggling or any difficult parts while trying to get that peel and stick wallpaper down. But overall, very renter friendly, looks great, and I will 100% be doing more peel and stick wallpaper in the future. goes that plan. Stand by. Okay, so what I did was replace this with the light bulb that goes in there, and I guess I'll just sacrifice those bulbs in there, and I'm sure they're not gonna be mad that they're like not the clear ones and they're the white ones. I don't see why it matters. So, yeah. Hello and welcome to day 2 of the removal. We got quite a bit done on the first day, but after I broke that light bulb, I decided it would be a good idea to just take a break and come back tomorrow. So here it is the next day, and I am in the entryway. I figured we could start right now because I only have about an hour and a half to work here today, but I think we can tackle this space and get it done. So I want to start with the mirror because this is up with those amazing 3M claw clips, and underneath though, we're gonna have to do some patching because I originally installed them with some giant anchors. So we're gonna have to get some spackle, and I figured that could kind of dry while we do the other removal. Such easier removal. That is wild. Seriously guys, going the 3M claw way is significantly better. I mean, oh my gosh, look at the size of these holes that I had to fill in compared to the size of the holes that I'm gonna have to fill in right here. That's no bigger than a push pin size hole. I am 100% going to be using these little guys more in the future, and the best part is this little guy is completely reusable, so I love that. Next up, let's remove all of these boards. I'm honestly shocked that they held up and stayed on the wall, but you know what? I consider that a success, and I know these are gonna come down just as easy as the wall did in the bedroom. And the best part about this too is all of this material is once again reusable, which I love because I will definitely be taking this to the next place so these boards can be repurposed for a future project. So easy. I cannot believe it. And just like that, the whole space is empty and looking so sad. I can't believe this is what it looked like when we moved in. Everything was just so bare. It's amazing how much just doing a few little things can make a difference. And yeah, this part is always just such a good reminder of why it is important to make your space feel like home. Even if you are renting, it doesn't matter. It is so worth those personal touches, especially when you start to reverse them and you realize just how much of a home that you made. I don't know. I'm starting to feel that bittersweet feeling, but mostly just excited to be done here and move on to the next because I just cannot wait to start DIYing again. All right, now let's work underneath here. We're gonna start by removing all of the boards. peeling off this part right here is going to be a big indicator whether or not the tiles of the kitchen will peel right off the wall, because this is the exact same contact paper that I used in the kitchen. Though, you know, you never know based on the conditions and the wall type, but I will feel pretty confident that that tile hack worked if this comes off the wall seamlessly. I have all of this material left right here that could be used for future DIY projects. And I would totally say that these battens in the entryway and underneath the counter are totally renter friendly. I definitely recommend those. And again, we checked off another one of our goals, which is having material that we can save and use for future projects. We are finally in the kitchen for probably the part that you guys are most awaiting for, and that is removing the tile. Now, if you remember, what we did to adhere this tile to the wall was actually put down a layer of contact paper first. Now, I did that to create a barrier because I had seen all of the horror stories of people applying peel and stick tile straight onto their wall and then having to deal with the mess, especially if you have drywall, because the issue is these peel and stick tiles are designed to go on top of existing tiles, and even so, I've seen that those are difficult to remove. So my theory was that by adding that contact paper down first, because it is a temporary or removable contact paper, these should peel away without any issues. We're gonna try it, we're gonna see what happens, and I'll be able to fully tell you whether or not my claim that this would be removable is true, but I pretty much know that it's going to be, but who knows? So that's why you guys are coming along with me as we go through this process. This is so awesome. It's just gonna be one giant sheet. Oh my gosh. It just came off as one giant sheet. It's so perfect. I cannot believe how simple that was, and honestly, if I wouldn't have kind of roughhoused this a little bit, I probably could reuse these tiles, but who knows, maybe I'll hold on to them just in case, and we'll see how I feel at the end of all of this. Just a teeny bit of foam got right here, so we'll just kind of scrape that off. And that was just my fault because I misaligned that tile right there, so I think that's just what caused the issue. But this worked really well of getting off that little bit of adhesive and foam that got stuck to the wall. It was the tiniest amount. It's all complete, and that was so quick and easy. 100%, if you want to add peel and stick tiles, you need to put the removable contact paper down first. I couldn't have asked for a more seamless removal. That was awesome. Okay, we're back in the bathroom because I kind of forgot that I needed to work on this half of the bathroom because I need to remove this towel bar, put up the original one, and also work on the lovely little arch accent with the shelf covers that I made. We need to take that down as well. That's crazy. What a strange turn of events. I did not realize this would be the hardest part. It's almost like the walls absorbed so much moisture that they expanded because, you know, we're in a bathroom, that these like infused into the wall. I had no idea that that would happen because I know these were a tight fit, but they weren't that tight of a fit when we initially installed them. Like they like fused to the paint. That's crazy. I did not expect this, but you know what? You never know what's gonna happen. And at least I feel like this could be repairable. Okay, that's crazy. Ow. Just wanted to give you a closer look about what happened. You can see like some big gouges came out of the wall. There's also some scratches, and it happened over here as well. And then this, where it fused into the wall, like that is wild, and it just like ripped the paint off. So I would say for this project, I loved the look of it. It looked so good. The only thing is I don't think I would do this again in a bathroom space because of all the moisture in here. I feel like it just really caused the walls to expand. So this did not remove as easily as we would have hoped. There's definitely some damage on the wall. Look at that right there and all the way down right there. And that happened with the shelves too. So I think that it just had something to do with this being a very humid environment. So the walls kind of expanded, or the paint almost like adhered of the project that I made to the walls. So I don't really recommend this in a bathroom space, and if you do try this, I would suggest making your boards and even your shelves just even a little bit smaller than your measurements, just to prevent any of this from happening. So we're gonna have to go in and spackle all of these little spots and then paint over them. And we are saving the first thing that we ever put up on the wall for last. It is time to bring down the shiplap here in the craft room. And I made sure that I put this up on the wall where it's gonna be very easy to remove as well with super minimal damage. So I'm not worried, but I did have to wait to film this one because I needed to recruit Alex's help because these are gonna come down in kind of like big sheets, and I just wanna make sure that everything is removed safely. Easy. There. I guess, yeah, we could find the other ones now. Oh. Oh, that's so funny. All right. Look at that. That was, hey, my plan and my idea worked. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. I knew this would be a challenge, but yeah, this turned out way better than I could have hoped for. Nice, so we just have one last section. That's gonna be easy. And then we gotta figure out what we're gonna do with all of this. But I can at least reuse the shiplap again, so that makes this really good. Jump in here real quick with some voiceover because I'm gonna put Alex on blast real quick because he removed a command strip off the wall incorrectly and it left behind damage. And I get comments about this a lot, so if this does happen to you, here is how you fix it. You're going to need some spray paint. Any spray paint will work. I am just using some white primer and a foam brush to feather it out and remove any of the drips. This is going to create a nice seal over the paper that is exposed to allow you to then apply the patch on top of it. Now, you don't need anything fancy to do this. I am really just using the spackle you have seen me use throughout the entire video, and I'm going to fill that area in. I did find it took a couple layers of the spackle, letting it dry in between before it was completely flat, and I even let it pile up just a little bit extra to make sure that I could go in with some fine grit sandpaper and smooth everything down so it was nice, flat, and even. Next, you're going to then want to take some paint and paint over that spackle. This is going to completely hide any sort of damage, especially if you go and color match your paint. And all you need to do to get a perfect color match is take an outlet off the wall and use a blade to remove a square. You're going to need at least a 1x1 square to remove, and then take that into the hardware store. They'll be able to do a paint color match for you. And that's all I did, and I just got a little sample size and painted that on the wall to cover up this spot. I also used a roller just to help smooth and feather everything out. I repeated this a couple times. It did take about 3 coats filling in this spot right here, but as you can see, the damage just completely disappears. It's going to be like this never happened. And I promise, even if you do mess up your command strips, there is a way to fix it and recover and still get your deposit back. And after several hours of cleaning everything, the apartment is back to exactly the way it looked when we first moved in. This is the part that makes me feel so sad because of all of the hard work put into this apartment to transform it. All of the beautiful room makeovers now are gone and everything is back to its original form. And I know I'm going to get some comments about why I didn't ask to leave my DIYs behind for the next renter. Well, I live in a big apartment complex that is owned by a corporation, not an individual landlord. So this unit had to turn back to exactly the way it looked when we first moved in, because all of these apartments need to be standard across the board. And so sadly, I did have to tear everything down. But the good news is I filled up a full carload of material that will be coming with me to the new townhome. So it is not all a total loss, and I cannot wait to get DIYing and to start all of the room makeovers that are in store for that place. So you are not going to want to miss out. Make sure you are subscribed, and if you want to see the process of how I transformed this apartment before all of this was taken down, then I have the video for you right here on the screen. And with that, it is time to say our final goodbye to this apartment.